Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for 61st Street. So, this episode started out with the son going into his parents' bedroom frantic because he's trying to alert them to the fact that there is a body outside. Somebody's on fire outside. And so they looking like, okay, literally in the middle of the night, woke them up out of their sleep. And when they go to the door, you see a figure hanging from a noose in a tree or on a pole or somebody hanging from a noose. And it was meant to look like Moses from when he actually had his hair before it was cut. And, I mean, there was no mistaking it. And it's like, come on now. Like, y'all doing the most. And, even though a lot of this type of behavior was happening in the South, in recent years, people have been reenacting and the South gonna ride again and all of this ignorant foolishness all up and down the East West Coast and all of that and just doing the most in the North. And I'm just like, anyway, moving right along, the trial is happening, and one of the crooked cops that got up there talking about the lifestyle that he leading and that he's in the gang. The brother talking about Joshua, who is Moses' brother, talking about he in a gang. And they were just talking about how they started the surveillance of the brother because they found drugs in the home, and they wanted to understand the family's entire involvement in the business. And before the trial even started, the person that's been doing these newspaper articles and stuff, like, he tried to roll up on Franklin and was like, yeah, would you like to tell us something? Would you like to say something? Like, I cannot stand this man. I really can't. Because all these people are characters. They background characters. They all know random stuff they shouldn't know because anything to try to kill somebody or lock somebody away because they are a black body. Even if they have every single shred of evidence in their hands, that is what is happening here, and it is infuriating. And I swear it does something to me. I can't. But anyway, it got to a point where I think they had a recess, and Franklin, the white woman that works for the betterment of the black people, I guess you could say. I can never remember the name of the organization that she works for, but she understands the injustices that are happening amongst the black people in that community. And so she's basically working alongside Franklin. She went and approached Moses' mama, and the undercover raggedy cop, let me calm down because those of y'all who've seen this, y'all already know what is hidden for. So let me calm down. Approached them, and they were talking to them. And so she was like, that cop is lying. Da, 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 da. And so he had to let her know, like, Franklin was like, we're going to have to put Joshua on the stand. Like, at this point, this might be the only chance to be able to get stuff out there because there are missing pieces. They saying all this stuff going on, but we have the evidence. So we just gonna need him to get up there and say what it is. So the son, Joshua, got up there on the stand, and they want to know whether or not he was a part of that gang. And he was like, yes, I am. And they were like, when did you become a member? And he was like, it just happened or whatever. And of course, he's doing this so that he can raise money to get his brother out of jail. And if need be, to help his mama as well, which of course she does need all the help she can get. There's nobody else in the house. There's no man. There's no other figure in the house that is helping. And she is taking on shifts like nobody's business, trying to make ends meet. So Franklin asked, they took you out of the building, after they had gotten you, had taken you in, like, where did you go? Because they're saying to us that they wanted to revisit the crime scene. Is that where they took you? And he was like, no, that's not true. And so he was like, okay, so where did they take you? He was like, to the river. And so he's trying to figure out, like, what is that about? And so he was like, they needed a name. And eventually it got to a point where the name that he gave was his brother's, because that's what the name was that they wanted him to say. And they were going to kill him. And it just was what it was. Like, he did not, of course, why would he say anything about his brother? Why would he just say, yeah, it was my brother? Why? Why? At this moment, he starts to become very overcome, and you could tell that he's having flashbacks, and he begins to cry, and it's just too much going on. This is what gets me. That police officer really sat up there in court and lied to the degree where he said, "Oh, my mama, we took him out of the building, out of the precinct, so that we could revisit the crime scene." And Franklin told him that that's what he said. He said, "Did he really put that on his mama? Did he really just say that?" He was like, "No, that's not where he took me." And that's why they ended up telling him about the river. Y'all, eventually it got to a point where it was just like, "No, y'all tried it." They came in the courtroom because this is an open type of a situation where people are just coming and going and all of that. And the two of them came in, the two police officers who took him out, beat him, threw him in the river and all this other stuff. They came in acting all big and bad because their names were mentioned. Like, he straight up said that these were the ones who took me. These are the ones who told me that they needed a name, and they were crooked. They, you know what I'm saying? We know they beat this boy down and some more. It got to the point where he could not finish his testimony. He saw them. He became very, like, overcome with so many different emotions. And the judge told them to take the jury out of there. Wait a minute, not yet. That's not it yet. Anyway, y'all, my bad. But yeah, it got to a point where they had to try to restrain him, and he's at the same time having flashbacks to them beating him down, where they aren't even doing anything to him, but he's having the flashbacks of the police officers who were doing things to him, beating him and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, Lord, this thing got real ridiculous right here. This thing got so crazy. And now it's to a point where Franklin had to tell him, like, you gonna either go down or you gonna have to testify. You're going to have to give them account for what you did, even though we didn't want it to have to get to this point. But you're going to have to tell everybody what happened. Because we know what happened. We saw the footage and all of this or whatever. And he was like, "Well, I thought you said it wasn't going to have to get to this point." He was like, "I can't help it. Like, because your brother didn't finish his testimony, they're going to scrap it from from the record. And the jury will not be able to use that as a part of what they're going to debate on." So now, Brannigan, he rolling up, doing what he do, and he trying to figure out where somebody in particular is. And they had somebody guarding the bathroom. So he go in the stall where the person is, and here we go. We see the dude who basically was the one who recruited Joshua in the first place. And I was like, you know what, I'm tired. And he told this boy immunity and protection. If you get up there and tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So they had a random witness, didn't nobody know about who was gonna come in. And so he was like, "Yeah, I'm the witness. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do." And we find out that he is the one who was supposedly driving the van that, was driven when that situation happened at the jailhouse, and he threw out the drugs. He was like, "Oh, I know he has all this stuff going on and that he is a part of the gang, even though I'm not on the inside, because I was the one driving the van and I was the one who threw the drug." I was like, I am tired of everybody, and I'm so sick and tired of everybody. So while the testimony is going on, Lord, Franklin and fell out, because y'all know he going through. So he legit is towed all the way down to the ground. And we end up seeing Brannigan and the cop, I think it's Logan or whatever. They go to some skybox game, and you could tell he's uneasy. And they went to somebody else who was like higher up than them. And they basically were like, "Yeah, good. It was good for you to be able to catch on to pick up what we was putting down, because when he was up there on the stand, all this stuff was being said. The gun had been changed and he didn't even know." And they were the ones who all of them got together and fixed it so that gun was where it was. So anyway, Franklin is in the hospital on oxygen. I guess they're giving him fluids or whatever so he can feel better. And it's just terrible. The wife is tired of her spirit because she already does not have that much time left with her husband. Her son still does not know about this man's diagnosis and that he will not be here for very much longer. So this heifer coming to him talking about what's all going on with the case, and she is just exhausted. And she was like, you know what? There's only one thing that's gonna get my husband up out of this bed and back, back to normal. So she told her to stay with him. Well, I don't care nothing about that. I'm just trying to fast forward because these people done got on my nerves, y'all. We end up seeing Martha meet up with all the ladies. Moses' mama and Tutu's mama. Rufus's mama. And they're going somewhere because at this point, it's like, how you going to please both of them? And you still be able to somehow still be on the side of right. She ends up rolling up. They all end up rolling up to a street corner and was like, where's Dante? I need to speak to him. And of course, Moses' mama don't care nothing about what they talking about. Was like, look, this is a good woman right here. And we need to talk to him. We need to resolve some stuff. And wanted to set up a meet. And so we gonna see what happened with that later on. But then we end up seeing Logan and his feelings. And while he was talking to Brannigan and all these other people, he actually was doing the same thing that his partner was doing and started recording situations. And I'm like, oh, okay. So, like, I'm trying to understand, are you straddling the fence or what? Because I have not known how to feel about him this entire season. I've never known how to feel about him. But he is recording these conversations. You could tell he's uneasy about it all and all of that. So it's like, at this point, what are you going to do with the recordings? Because they gonna kill you. Like, you in Chicago, of all places. They gonna kill you. Some terrible is gonna happen to you if it gets released and they know it's you who's released it. And more than likely, they gonna figure it's you because they gonna put together who all was there. So then we end up seeing Franklin. He's out of bed now, and we don't know what has gotten him out of the bed now at this moment. But he's out of bed and he is meeting up with Moses. And it was so bad that while he was in the bed, somebody came to him and told him, look, Moses has been told that he might want to seek legal representation elsewhere because he wasn't made aware of your circumstances. And so he did come to him and he apologized for not letting him know about that. And he was like, look, because of what I'm going through, I do not fear death. I'm not scared of nobody. I'm not in any way fazed by what these people throw at me. So that's why he is able to say, I know I'm a great leader. I know I'm a great attorney for you. I already know this. So at this point, he has to make a decision. And he has like until the morning to decide whether or not he's going to go with other legal representation. Well, Franklin is back at the house and he's going over the evidence. He starts zooming in and he sees the wire on the partner who died. And like I said, I'm just like, this is a situation where I'm like, there is so much evidence stacked against the police department that I'm just like, this is the way that the trial is going as of right now. It's like, how can Moses be on the losing side of it? And even the way the judge has been acting, y'all, I'm going to get to that too. Like, I'm just like, y'all just blatantly racist. Y'all just want these black people to lose. It is irking my soul because there are people out here who really grew up and said, hate them because they don't look like me. Literally hate these people because they don't look like me. So anyway, out of nowhere, Franklin was very bold and he rolled straight up to Logan's house and was like, yeah, you kind of bold, and I'm pretty sure it's not legal for us to be meeting. And so he told him what it was hidden for. I saw you in this video and all this other stuff. So what's really going on? Like, we need to revisit some things. What is going on here? Because you got up on that stand and said one thing, but obviously other things going on. Franklin walking, going, and I guess he coming from work or going to work. Well, we end up seeing his wife meeting up with the gang leader, Dante. Like, literally got into this man vehicle and was talking to him and was like, look, I need to talk to you. We need some things to move and shake. Everybody knows the situation. We all know that ultimately everybody is looking at y'all's situation as Rufus was a snitch, and you was probably looking at it like, yeah, he a snitch within the organization and somebody gotta die. And so you made that happen. But we can't sit up here and ignore this man's mama is still alive, and don't sit up here and just be like, oh, okay, because that's the mama. That's a loose end. Let's kill her. And she talking and want all of this justice for her raggedy son and all of that. Like, I just need for you to understand. I need you to do me a favor. Please don't move against this woman. Don't have these people kill her. Like, she was speaking on this woman's behalf. And so he said, look, I think you can win this election. So ultimately, he gonna do what she asking him to do. Well, we end up seeing Franklin. He looking around. He trying to figure out what's going down, what's gonna happen. Y'all, it's a lot of stuff going on, and this is going to be the day that Franklin is going to be Franklin and the other person are going to be cross-examining, I guess you could say, and talking to Moses. So Moses goes up to the witness stand. He's talking and he wants to know what is going through his mind that day when everything happened. He explained the position that he was in. And yes, of course, I knew that the police officers were who they were and all of this. And yeah, so he was like, look, when I saw them, I felt like these are police officers. If I don't run, I'm going to die. That heifer sat up there the whole time, was like looking at him, rolling her eye. I'm just like, do you just want to win this case, or are you actually racist? Because it's like stuff that's common sense, especially given the fact that they are in Chicago of all places. You're really trying to act like you don't understand that this is the way that they have to think. This is the way they have to think. Most people feel when they see police officers, they are not going to come home alive unless they run. That is terrible. That is a terrible way to feel. That is a terrible way to have to live. But that is the reality of this country. So he's reliving these situations. He was like, look, this is what happened. I kind of brushed up against him. And, you know, he ended up falling and he fell on this rusty pipe and all this other stuff. The wife is there listening to the testimony. He told him about how his partner shot at him and all of that. And he was like, look, I was right to protect myself. Like, it's too much going on here. So, of course, the heifer gonna get up out of nowhere and try to, you know, badger the witness, so to speak. And was just like, look, you said all of this, but when the police got to the first place that you were at, when you were congregated outside, didn't you know those police? Didn't you just say that they were police officers? And he was just like, yeah, but... And she was like, oh, so you knew they were police officers, yet you still ran. And then when you ran into him, you saw him initially, you knew he was a police officer then, and you knew he was a police officer when you ran into him later on. And I'm just like, ma'am. So it was just to the point where he just felt like you trying me, and he started going off. He was like, no, you're not listening. Everybody know me. I ain't like that. Everybody knows me no matter what walk of life they have going on with themselves. Everybody know me. They know I ain't about that life. I'm about my schoolwork. I do what I'm supposed to do and go home. Don't nobody mess with me. They know I have had a life. They knew I was finna go out and do what I needed to do. So it's just a mess. It became somewhat of an outburst, so to speak. But it was just to the point where the judge was like, you know what? Nope. What we gonna do is we gonna send all the jury members out of here. I've heard enough. And I was like, okay then. So I'm thinking that the judge got some sense finally. Lies. This man is sending everybody out the room talking about, I don't want the judge to hear nothing else that's being said because he just admitted to this crime. And I'm gonna just have to suggest that they plead guilty in this case. And so Moses is like, no, what you mean? That's not what I said. Like, what did you talk about? I was so tired of my spirit child. I was like, oh no, what we not finna do with this? So then, while everybody is in mad hysteria, his wife then came in the courtroom and came and whispered something in her husband's ear. And he was like, look, I got something I got to present to y'all. It's revisiting another witness, and it's Brannigan. I'd be doggone, they to put Brannigan on the stand. So Brannigan talking, and he over here like, yeah, I did what I was supposed to do. Yeah, I said what I said before, and I stand on everything I said. Then the recording was played. Y'all don't understand my reaction when that recording started playing. I said, "Got him, got him," and Franklin was like flipping them pages of his legal pad. I said, "You better do it. You better do it." But in typical fashion, this man gonna try to turn it on him to myself. I feel sorry for you. I forgive you. And I'm like, how you gonna tell this man you forgive him? Like he just over here making something up, because he had to read him and he was like, I am not a storyteller. I'm doing my job. This is what I do. So this is not story time. Like, what are you talking about? I'm on to you. You did what you did. Cause you sat up here and lied to me. I don't know Rufus. I ain't never knew this man's name. I ain't never knew the alias. I ain't never met this man before. But you was in cahoots with him the entire time. You knew who he was before you pulled up that day and shot him. So the lies. It's the lies for me. So eventually they put the mama on the stand, Moses' mama on the stand, and she had to set it off and put the final nail in the coffin. I said, I know that's right. I know that's right. So yeah, but yeah, that's when they was talking about he said everything he said, and then and they was gonna do all of this stuff. I was like, child, don't nobody have time. They did their final closing arguments, and before we got the verdict, we ended up seeing a scene in between where everybody is, in line to vote, and then we saw Dante come up. And I guess he's a typical Frank Lucas or somebody. He rolled up, and she was about to leave out. I'm about to say Moses. Martha was about to leave out, and then we see Dante roll up in a suit, and he was like, "Hey y'all, how y'all feeling?" All this other stuff. Made an appearance, and thanking everybody for coming out. Making an appearance. He actually rolled up on Tutu, Rufus's mama, and was like, "Hey, how you doing? We got you." And talking about some my condolences. And so it made it seem like, I'm here for you. We ain't gonna try you, without even saying all that. Then he rolled up on Martha and was like, "I've scratched your back twice." I said, "Oh God, no." Look, and then what I didn't tell y'all is somebody, I think that that news reporter or whatever, the guy who writes the news articles and things, or somebody was taking pictures of her, and they had taken pictures of her when she was having the meetup with him before, and it looks very, very suspicious. I'm talking about from the time she got there, when she was walking back across the street, all of that. So anyway, so now she know. Eventually he gonna want to know what's going on, especially if she ends up becoming alderman. There are gonna be some things that she gonna have to come up out of pocket for. Well, now they about to read the verdict. The verdict went down, and they freed Moses. When I tell y'all, I hollered like this was a real life situation that happening right now with this person. Man, Franklin was like, I was like, I said, "Courtney B. Vance, you better go off. Go off." Everybody was here for it. Everybody got up hollering and screaming. I was like, "I know that's right." Look, listen, I know I'm wrong. I don't care. And yet again, this is a TV show, just like I told y'all when I did the recap review of Sisters. That raggedy heifer who was over there doing the cross-examinations and all that other stuff, she sat up there and came and like hugged and congratulated, shook the hand of Franklin. Child, please, I would have rolled my eyes at that heifer. Rolled my eyes, because would have been like my last case. I ain't got to have nothing to do with you, heifer. I'm going 6 feet under sooner than later. Ain't nothing for us to talk about. Ain't no shaking of the hand. Ain't none of that. I would not be the bigger person in that moment. No, I won this case. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Another thing that crossed my mind before that moment even happened was, once they did the verdict, I don't know if it's because of how the case was unfolding or whatever, or because of so much outrage on both sides. I ain't gonna lie, I thought somebody was gonna come up in there and shoot it up. I thought somebody was gonna come up in there and kill Moses, and he still wasn't gonna be able to fulfill his dream of being a track star. So everybody riding around the city, setting it off. Moses is free, run free Moses, and all this other stuff. I'm like, y'all better set it off. They had the Liberation Black free flags, which I have one of. I will be, if I get on here on Juneteenth. I will be sporting that behind me as y'all see this flag for the month. That's back here on my lovely couch. But yeah, I have that. I have my liberation, the Black Liberation flag, hallelujah in the name. And if you don't know what that is, that's basically the flag of the United States that's in the colors of black, red, and green. So yeah, everybody rolling around. I was like, y'all went off in this episode. So then Martha is at the headquarters. They celebrating it. You know, of course they're celebrating the win for Moses, but at the same time, they're still waiting to see what's going on with those votes. And she was able to get alderman. So she excited. Her husband had disappeared out of nowhere. Moses is trying to get back to his normal life, y'all. He back there with the coach doing what he doing. And I mean, I don't think that was the last thing that happened, but I got to tell y'all what happened last because I'm disgusted, beyond disgusted. Y'all know the man who was over here trying to act like he was here for Moses' mama, right? So he looking at the phone and she done sent him a message to my are you gonna stop by the party? And he gonna put the phone back in his little locked box that he has in the car. And I see like a little bag and gifts and flowers and I'm like, okay, who is this for? And as soon as he get out the car, I said, I know he better not be walking into no house to no wife and children. That's what I know bet not be about to happen. What do? Walk into the house to a wife and children. Kissing, hugging, and all that. Oh, we missed you. What? You piece of trash. You raggedy bastard. Oh, I was so tired. What's his name? Akeem, I forgot his name. You bastard. Did y'all see the Steve from Blue's Clues? You bastard. That is the most hilarious thing I've seen in my life. But anyway, oh yeah, and then Logan sitting up here and rolled up on the wife. The wife was like, look here, you ain't got to worry about nothing. You ain't got to worry about the brotherhood. You know, the police brotherhood turning their back on you, or you feeling like you in any type of trouble because I'm the one who released the tape. I never told them that you had anything to do with giving it to me. So you ain't got to worry about nothing. You can go back to your regular life. But anyway, back to me being disgusted. I am so disgusted with that raggedy man. I don't know what to do. This man had a whole family at the house. And you black. Anyway, all skin folks ain't kin folk. Anyway, y'all. I am so disgusted. And it's like I knew in the back of my mind, I was like, ooh, I just knew. I knew. And this whole time, ever since he first rolled up and everybody said, we ain't never seen you around here before, who are you? And he introduced himself as if he was this hardworking man and he know you. I just knew it. And I was just hoping I was wrong. Anyway, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this recap review of 61st Street. Subscribe to my channel if you have not done so and give this video a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. I'll be back for a few more things. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Be safe and stay cool. Bye.